What is the most bizarre reason a customer got angry with you? I worked at a Burger King in high school. A guy comes in one day complaining he put in money to get a newspaper in the machine outside, and it wasn't this Sunday's paper. He wanted a refund. I told him we didn't own that machine, and we weren't able to give him his money back. I also mentioned to him it was actually Saturday, not Sunday. He flew into a rage, threw last week's Sunday edition of the paper all around the restaurant and behind the counter. My manager comes out and threatens to call the cops. Dude leaves screaming about how we ripped him off. Sometimes you can't fix stupid. A woman and her high school daughter walk up to me while I'm working in Bath and Body Works. Here's how the convo goes. Mom, we don't know what they are called, but you know those things you can wear around your neck and you clip keys or badges to them? Do you sell those here? Me. Oh, do you mean lanyards? Mom, what did you call me? Me. Nothing. You said you didn't know what those things are called. They are called lanyards. Unfortunately we do not sell them here. Maybe check Hot Topic? Mom, whatever. Thanks for wasting my time. As they turned to leave, the daughter turned behind her mom's back and mouthed, "I'm sorry," to me. Poor girl, that mom was nuts. Apparently when she said she wanted a hot fudge sundae she meant strawberry sundae. LMAO, the service industry is the worst. I had a couple of 30-somethings get mad at me because I called them guys. It was a ducking Irish pub frequented by mostly young people. It was a very casual place. This asshole comes in with his girl and orders drinks and food. When I take it to the table I say, "Here's your food, guys." He gets all pissy and says, "Excuse me son. We are not young lads, it's not appropriate to refer to us as guys. It shows little respect from your part and you should treat us with the respect we deserve if you want our custom." Motherfucker was the same age as me. The fuck was he calling me son? Typical idiot who wants to show off to his date by talking down to the waiter. I said, "Sorry dude, but this is how we treat all customers in our pub." He got all worked up and asked to speak to my manager saying he was gonna get me fired. Little did he know my manager, who was the bar owner, wasn't one to put up with pompous pricks like him. She was a tiny Polish woman, went to his table and told him she doesn't stand for annoying customers talking down to his staff just to make themselves look better in front of a date, so if he had a problem he should hit the road. The prick started yelling about his 60 Facebook friends and he was gonna get us closed down. Mayo. Bonus story I just remembered. There was this man who would come sometimes and harass one of the new waitresses. Whenever she walked past him he'd motion his hand like he was about to slap her ass but would stop a few inches away. She didn't want to say anything to the boss because sadly she thought putting up with pervs was part of the job. Then one night my boss sees as this perv pretends to slap this waitress ass. She calls her over and asks if that's happened before. She said every time he's here. A little while later this perv tries to do it again and there comes this tiny Polish woman from behind the counter ballistic towards him, yells to someone to cut the music and proceeds to lecture him in front of everybody how that's sexual harassment and he's barred from coming in ever again. Dude starts screaming, "I was born and raised in this town and nobody kicks me out of no pub, blah blah blah." In the end she kicked him out. And another time a man came by asking for money when she and another waitress were alone opening up in the morning. My boss said she wouldn't give him money but would give him food. Dude says he doesn't want food, he wants money because he has 3 kids and a wife. Boss says they are welcome to come have breakfast, lunch and dinner for free every single day. Guy gets mad and tells her to fuck off, he wants money, no food. She tells him to leave and he starts punching the counter, grabs a still and smashes it against the wine glasses, starts flipping over a couple of high tables and yelling. This fucking lady and her 2 giant ovaries comes out the counter like a raging bull, charging at him with a freaking tray and literally shoves him out the door, successfully locking it from the inside while the other waitress calls the police. At all this the man is outside banging the door saying he's gonna come back at night, rape and kill them. The police came when he was still outside flipping the tables in the terrace, breaking ashtrays and plant pots, and arrested him. Everything was caught on camera, from the video of my boss charging at him with a tray to the video of him destroying her property. That was one great boss and an awesome woman. She had a degree in philosophy and was a college philosophy teacher until she decided to fulfill her dream of being a bar owner. She was 100% legit, gave us proper contracts, paid us overtime, fed us at work, didn't exploit her staff at all, and made sure we were happy working for her and felt respected and protected. She's been bridesmaids in every wedding from her former employees that got married and is the godmother of 3 of her former employees' children. That type of person. She's an inspiration and a wonderful human being. Apparently I didn't greet her at the drive-thru with enough enthusiasm, but the real gag is it wasn't even me on the speaker, and when I corrected her she got even madder. I had several people yell at me after I called them out for trying to steal shit. Even after pointing out the cameras in the store, some would guarantee I would be losing my job after they spoke with corporate. I used to deliver pizza. I had someone get irate and refuse the delivery because they'd ordered it to be delivered at 7 PM and I got there at 6:55. I hope you just stood there for 5 minutes refusing to hand it over till 7 exactly. They wanted a new pizza because they said the one I brought would be cold by 7 when they wanted to eat. I told them we'd have to bake a new pizza then and it'd be late. They opted for late. I ran a few more deliveries with their pizza in my backseat and went back around 7:30 with the exact same pizza but told them it was a new one. They opened it to make sure it was hot and were happy with it. Then they called to complain about the experience. Then we had to update our order policy that if you specify a delivery time we can only guarantee a time range and not a specific minute. Worked at Walmart and this guy went through my line buying something for his tires. He accidentally got 2 different things. One was a lot more expensive than the other. He got pissed, looking at his receipt, and demanded to know why one cost more money. I looked at the products and noticed one had some gel inserted in the product. I told him this and he demanded to know why this made the product more expensive. I explained to him I knew nothing about cars and was just a cashier, but he could go to customer service to exchange the more expensive product for the cheaper one. He then refused to leave my line until I lowered the price of the more expensive product. BTW, I was working the express checkout line on Friday at 5:30 and a huge line was forming behind this man-child. My manager finally got him to leave the line and go to customer service, though his son was in line behind him and apologized for his father's actions. They noticed I had an accent. I'm from Southern Virginia and North Carolina area, and pointed it out as Russian. I don't know how they possibly thought my accent was Russian, but I corrected them and they got angry that I was being condescending to them. The personification of a Facebook moms group troll looking for a fight regardless of logic and sound maturity. Facebook moms group. You type with an accent. The only people I know of who type with an accent are Scots. And what's that supposed to mean? You scunner? I remember being screamed at every time the cigarette prices went up. How am I supposed to afford that? I don't know. So, I'm a 15-year-old girl. Note, this was 20 years ago. I think the law has changed, but at least at the time, yes, minors were allowed to sell tobacco products. And yes, as a then 15-year-old girl, sometimes being yelled at did make me cry. I worked at a gas station in high school and was in charge of changing the prices on the sign outside. As I was using a 20-foot pole and suction cup and struggling to swap plastic numbers, I would get screamed at by people in their cars. Mom, I'm a teenager right on set gas prices for oil Dutch Shell. And the prices are already set on the pumps. This sign doesn't control the oil market. Because I didn't open up shop an hour before opening time. Because he was here now, so open the store. He kept banging on the door and then threw a metal bucket at my head. Good times. I applied another discount to the total instead of the promoted discount to save her more money. Had to get into an argument with her just to explain I'm trying to save her more money. She wasn't having it. Pay more money, I don't fucking care anymore. Reminds me of when I was at Subway once and the lady in front of me ordered 2 6-inch meatball subs, and at the end the guy was like, let me ring that up as a single 12-inch to save you some money, and the lady lost her shit. Guy was like, right, okay, 2 6-inch meatball subs it is then. You're right. Who gave you permission to save me money? She claimed that I was thinking bad thoughts about her and the resulting negative energy was making her feet bleed. I wasn't thinking bad thoughts about her before that, but I sure as shit was after. You should have run with it. You're lucky that's all I'm making bleed. A woman I had never met or seen in my life asked me where her kids were. I was confused and said I'm sorry, I don't know, and she yelled and asked where they put them. She stormed off angry at me. I never had a clue why she asked me. I can tell from your kind eyes that they are in your heart and on your mind. I was a department manager in a health and amp beauty section next to the pharmacy of a grocery store. A guy came in and asked for an antifungal called meconazole that the doctor suggested for an infection on his face. Now, as some of you may know, meconazole is very commonly used for yeast infections in the vagina, so it is sold by the feminine hygiene products pads, tampons, etc. I took him over there, pointed out the meconazole and showed him that we carried a generic store brand as a cheaper alternative. Dude was absolutely pissed off that I suggested he put pussy cream on his face and demanded to speak to the manager. I told him that I was the department manager and he argued saying there's no way a chick is in charge of men and left. Or so I thought. Apparently, he had wandered the department and found the nearest male employee, who then brought the customer to his manager, me, when he had no idea where or what meconazole was. The customer refused again to listen to me, so I told the stocker to bring him to the pharmacist, also a woman LMAO, to discuss his needs. Next thing I heard was him screaming at the pharmacist, demanding to talk to someone who knew what they were talking about. He was asked to leave and eventually security was called to escort him out when he continued to rant and rave about women who know nothing about his medical needs. I'm dying over pussy cream LMAO.